The topic for today's video is gratitude and how you can incorporate it in your daily life to improve your relationships manifold. Let's get into it. Hello, good people of the internet. Welcome to another episode in Ask a Human, Not an AI with Chetan Naran. My Ask a Human, Not an AI series is actually receiving quite a lot of traction these days. So if you as a listener want to put forward a question, the link, the form is down below in the description. Please feel free to hit me up with your questions, and I'll be happy to prepare either a dedicated video for them or a dedicated podcast episode for the same. So today's question, which is an anonymous one again, is around gratitude. And I love the question. The guy or the girl asks me, I see gratitude as a buzzword used by a number of self help books and self improvement YouTubers and gurus, quote unquote gurus. Tell me about it. But I do not think I ever really understood what it means to practice gratitude in my everyday life. Can you help me understand this better? I can try. See, firstly, what I would tell you is that you're right in saying that gratitude is one of the buzzwords floating around these days in self-help or self-improvement circles or spirituality circles for that matter. And it's a shame, really, because it's like one of those words similar to the word God, similar to even the word spirituality. It's been picked up by many a times well-intentioned people, but many a times also selfish people or people who do not really have a complete understanding of what they should be guiding others towards, but they still find an avenue that resonates with something in a lot of listeners, and they take it and run with it. And with the tools at our disposal in the internet age, it reaches millions of people before even something that is actually relevant reaches them. So that is why you may start to consider it just a buzzword. So my first call out to you would be that even if you receive it as one of the buzzwords from a lot of different sources, do not consider it to be a buzzword. Gratitude is something that is a very powerful way of looking at life. It's a very powerful feeling, a very powerful emotion that human beings can possess and human beings can act on. I want you to focus more on that and cut off the noise. So, for that matter, you're at the right place because the Unlearning Playground helps you to unlearn those improper narratives. By the way, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you do that. Make sure you like the video and let's keep going. So, when we talk about gratitude, see, personally, I think for people who have a scientific bend of mind like myself, a scientific bend of mind like myself, sometimes very easily rubbish something like gratitude as if it's something voodoo, something obscure, and something that will not really make any sense, will not be practical as such. That's one extreme opinion. And then another extreme opinion is maybe people who are spiritually minded, again, like me, who would consider that it is a very pure emotion. It's something that is a godsend, maybe even, and something that we should cultivate and think more about or act more on. Now, I think it's always a mix of both, right? This kind of an attitude is needed to prevent you from falling prey to all of those buzzwords and all of those gurus that you talked about. But this kind of an attitude is also required to help you, in some manner of speaking, utilize these feelings and these emotions to actually find more meaning and more peace and more purpose to your life. So, having said that, let's come back to what I think is the best way of understanding gratitude. I think first and foremost, I would want to say that being grateful towards your life in general, it's one it's one way of saying that you should be grateful and thankful for everything that is good in your life. And that's something that's, I think, very obvious to everyone. So practicing gratitude would definitely mean understanding and incorporating how you can be thankful for everything good going on in your life, everything good that has gone so far in your life, right? Be grateful for it. But something that gets missed out is also that everything bad happening in your life, all the challenges that you're facing, everything that is going on, which is an unfamiliar territory, which gives you a lot of different pain points, etc. All of that is also happening for you. So, this is what I use to describe gratitude to everyone. I would say that if you want to incorporate gratitude in your life, incorporate this saying and internalize and understand it. Everything in your life is happening for you, not to you. When you start to consider that your life is happening to you, you start to fall prey to a victim narrative, which is like, oh, I'm a victim of my external circumstances, I'm a victim of my parents or my teachers or my friends or my bullies and whatnot. And therein, you kind of lose the power to A, um, take up responsibility for your life, and B, you lose the power to connect with your life at a deeper level, because you're always in that poor little me mode, who's going to try to one up their external surroundings, who's going to always try to one up the other, everything around him, and therefore you're always separate from life. And therefore, when you want to incorporate gratitude in your life, this is one powerful way to start having a look at it, that your life is happening for you. Everything in your life is happening for you, not to you. It is happening for you to make you into the human being that you should be, to make you into the bigger self that you can become. So that is one narrative I would definitely put out. You should understand that you should be grateful, not just for the good things in your life, but also for the bad things in your life, also for all the challenges that you're facing, because those challenges will help you grow into the human being that you can become, into the potentiality that you are. Here I would redirect you to episode 1 of season 2 of my podcast, where I talked about finding the purpose of your life, finding the purpose of being and becoming in your life. So make sure you check out that episode. It must be appearing in your description down below. And the next thing that I would talk about when I talk about gratitude is again another thing that I know a lot of people miss out on. In fact, this is something until very recently I used to miss out on. But I understood lately that I had been practicing it unconsciously. I'd been practicing this part of gratitude almost unconsciously. And that is, the power of gratitude lies not just in giving gratitude, in being thankful for others or for your life, etc., but also in receiving gratitude. So when you do something for someone who is then thankful for that action of yours, that feeling, that emotion of giving your something to someone and receiving a thanks, receiving gratitude in return, is a feeling that gives more purpose, gives more meaning, gives more, almost gives more life to your life, if I may. So this is something that a lot of people miss out on. In fact, I heard about it first on the Huberman Lab podcast. This guy was talking about it, of course, from a very scientific point of view, where he would describe all the different mechanisms via which, when we receive thanks from people, all the all of the neurocircuitry that gets triggered, etc., is leads to, let's just say, a more positive outcome in your everyday life. I'm not going to go into that because that is not my domain. You can check out his episode on gratitude. But the long and short of it is that the power of gratitude lies not only in giving gratitude, in not only in giving thanks to other people or your life in general, but also in receiving gratitude. So if you want to incorporate gratitude in your everyday life, in your daily regular life, incorporate some actions for which other people can be thankful for. So firstly, I would say that if you do not have someone to do something for on a regular basis, go and find that someone. And by that, I do not mean find a romantic partner. If at all I'm sounding like that, that's not what I mean. But it's true that happiness is only real when shared. So if you do not have someone with whom you can share happiness, if you do not have someone who can be grateful for you for sharing your happiness with them, go find that someone. Now, that someone could be children in an orphanage. That someone could also be old people living in an old age home. That someone could be a poor homeless guy living somewhere in your city. Whatever. I hope you get the overall picture. In fact, this reminds me of a very beautiful advertisement that is floating around these days on television. It's from a tea brand. I do not remember the exact name, but there's this lady who, the scene is in a hospital where there's a young guy, or maybe my age. He's sitting in the waiting area, and an old lady arrives and she asks him if he wants to have a cup of tea. And he says, of course, sure. And when they're then having tea, she pours tea from a thermos into a glass and gives it to him, and then asks him, why are you here? Whom are you waiting for? And he says, my dad is undergoing a surgery inside. And this lady is then asked by this guy, who are you waiting for? She said, no one. I was just alone in my home, and I thought there would be someone in the waiting area who could use a cup of tea. So beautiful, isn't it? So beautiful. Now this is something, even though they were promoting their tea brand, they were promoting their tea, but what I pick from this advertisement is just this idea of doing something for someone, not from a utilitarian standpoint. So I do not want you to start to consider that if you do something good for someone, they will be thankful for you, and therefore you will have all those different neuromodulators triggered in you, etc. I'm not trying to paint that picture for you. But what I'm trying to tell you is that if you want to incorporate gratitude in your life, try to have it incorporated in both ways: giving gratitude to other people and also getting gratitude, receiving gratitude for them, which will involve action from you, which will involve you going out of your way, maybe at times, to do something for someone for which they can be thankful for. And anyone who has ever received a genuine appreciation, a genuine letter of thanks from someone, knows how it feels. So that is something I leave you with. If you want to incorporate gratitude in your life, of course, be thankful for all the good and the challenges in your life, but also consider doing things for someone who can then be grateful for you. And one more thing that I would say is that when we talk about practicing gratitude, actively practicing gratitude, there is there is a certain section of the society who, almost due to a lot of different childhood traumas or adulthood traumas and whatnot, they sort of carry a grudge in their heart, a grudge against either a particular person, which then gets projected on other people as well. But they hold a grudge in their heart, and it's almost, sometimes it goes to the magnitude of it being a grudge against life in general. And it gets very hard for such people to practice gratitude in their daily lives, to actually even remind themselves of being grateful for everything going on in their life. For such people, now this is an extreme section of the society who should not really be ashamed of this kind of an emotion, by the way. This is natural. If it's happening with you in this kind of a scenario, it's absolutely natural, it's okay. But what I want you to do is incorporate the practice of gratitude in the form of writing. I'm back to writing. I've talked about this multiple times already on my YouTube channel, that I particularly love writing. I particularly love writing down my emotions in the form of my notes, or just picking up a pen and paper and writing. And even when it comes to practicing gratitude, this is what I would recommend. Just once a week, sit back and take a pen and paper and just start to write about things that you can be thankful for. And it may get hard initially, but as you keep doing it as a regular practice, what this will serve you with is just a constant reminder that there are things in your life that you can be thankful for. And before you know it, if you start to follow this as a regular practice, this kind of a thought, this kind of grateful thought, starts to appear in your consciousness more often than not. And that is what we want eventually anyway. If we can have more people grateful for life, if we can have more people grateful for their life and for life in general, I think we'll be okay. So that's it. That's all I leave you with. I hope I was able to help you understand gratitude and how it's not really a buzzword, how it's something which is very powerful, an extremely powerful way to start looking at life differently. And I hope I was able to move you enough to start to practice some of this in your daily life, and at least to start meditating on what I said. If that is the case, make sure you like this video, make sure you subscribe to the Unlearning Playground channel, and make sure you share this video with as many people as you can, because I will be very grateful if you do that. And also, if you like this video, leave me a comment down below telling me how you're grateful for whatever I say. That's about it. Thank you for staying with me till the end. I'll see you in the playground the next time. Until next time,